Hello and welcome to Craftbox 4 Reveal. I hope you're all okay. I hope you've all got through the weather today. We've had a stormy day in Market Deeping today, but it's clearing up now, so hopefully it'll all be gone for the weekend. So, for those of you who have got Craftbox 4, and for those of you who are thinking about getting Craftbox 4, I'd like to show you. So here we go. In we go. What have we got today? Okay, so I've called it Jar of Flowers, or Jars of Love, I think I've called it. You're going to get yourself a beautiful woodware stamp. We've got an embossing folder. We've got a selection of craft papers, pattern papers. This kit is to make 4 projects, so 4 cards you'll make from here. So I've got 4 card blanks at the back as well, with envelopes. There we go, look. Cards and envelopes, you've got some string, you've got a paintbrush, you've got 3 distress inks, and then you've got a VersaFine black ink, which is what you do your stamping with, and then you've got watercolour card and then a selection of cardstock at the back as well. So a lovely collection this one is. I've enjoyed doing this one. I've enjoyed colouring. I'm not a massive colourer. I like to have things quite quick and quite simple when I card make, but this one, it's allowed me to just stop, enjoy the colouring. So for the projects that are included in the kit, we've got this one. I've called this the flapper card. So we've got an embossed background, oops, and then our stamped image on the front, just hinged onto the card blank. This one, this was the first one I kind of come up with when I chose this stamp. So this one's been decoupaged. I don't know if you can see that on the edge. So it's 3D. So cut out and embossed. This I think is probably my favourite one. I've called that one the patchwork card. And then we've got the easel card. So all of these card blanks are all included in your kit, and the step-by-step photo instructions. Oh, that's what's missing actually, the instructions. So they're also included in the kit to show you how to make all 4 of these cards. But today I'm going to show you how to make another card. Because I've enjoyed it so much, I wanted to share another, and just to show you how versatile this set is. Now, not many people tend to colour with distress inks, but they're ideal for the watercolouring technique because they're water-based ink pads. So I'm just going to pop that to one side, and then I'm going to show you how to make this rather cute little, I suppose, a tag card. I don't know what to call it, but I just think it's really cute. And I think as well, that was one thing that I visualised when I saw this stamp, was it standing up on its own, and that's where this one kind of came from. But then I incorporated that into a card blank. Okay, so we're going to start with this. Oh, well, I'm going to show you how to make that, but first of all I'd like to show you how to do the watercolouring, because I appreciate that not everybody will know how to do watercolouring. Okay, that wasn't what I was going to start with, but it doesn't matter. I'll show you how to stamp. I was going to show you how to stamp first, but not to worry. We'll do the watercolouring first. So I've stamped my image, and I've used the VersaFine because it's a waterproof ink pad. And then what we're going to do with our distress inks, I've got the mummy size ones of these, you'll have the little baby ones in your kit, is you use a glass mat, or you can use a tile, anything that's non-porous. You can use a blending mat, anything that won't soak up the ink, and then you're just going to tap it down. So you're making your own palette out of the ink pads. So the 2 colours, the yellow and the blue, I'm using for my flowers, and then the green is going to be for my leaves. So I'm just popping them down. I'm right-handed, so I've got my inks on my right hand side, and then I've got my little jar of water. I'll pop them to the side as well, and then I've also got a paper towel. Now I've stamped this, and I've washed my colour over, and I try to explain it in the instructions as well. There's all sorts of different ways you can do your colouring, and for those of you that know Crafty Lou, she does a particular style of watercolouring with using the distress inks, and it's so in depth. The colour is amazing that she achieves. I'm a bit quicker, I'm a bit slapdash. I just want to get it down, get my card made, so I do more of a water wash, watercolour technique. So I've already gone and put my first layer of colours down, and to do that you just wet your brush. Decide on which colour, which flowers you're going to colour which. I'm going to go blue on the big one, and this is a real watered down colour. So I'm just adding water to my ink, and I'm going to wash over. So it's going to be very, very faint to begin with, but it's just laying down some colour. Now the lighting in here actually is slightly glaring off of my flowers, so if I go over the edges, I do apologise, you can just about see that. Okay, so that is now matching in with the rest of my background, my first wash. So to get more depth like we have on these ones, you can see the difference. That's my wash. You then go back with a slightly drier paintbrush, so I'm just going to dry that off ever so slightly. I've still got water on my ink here. I'm now going to pick it up from over here. I'm going to leave that one for a minute because that's still wet, and then I'm just going to come in and add I've only got 2 big ones. Oh, okay, I'm going to just add in some more of the colour, pick up some more. And it's nice to have it all set up around you, because then you're not having to find your paints or put your hand in them. So my hand is away from these paints, so it means it won't then transfer onto my project. And you just keep on going until you've built up your shades, your depth, until you're happy with it. If you want to drag that in and make it a little bit lighter, just wash off your paint slightly, dry it off, and then you can do little circular effect to pick up more paint. Okay, so it's when you're ready, when you think you've got enough, I'm just going to dry that off slightly more, and then I'm going to come back in and do, and you can see how just that's dried now, because we're colouring onto watercolour paper, which is in your kit. I'm just going to go around the edges. You really get absorbed into doing this, and you keep on adding. You can just keep on adding. You can take it away as well. That's the beauty of watercolour, because you just go and add, clean your brush off, take the water, take your water to it, and it almost bleaches out the colour. I've missed a leaf there, look. So I've left the little flowers in the background. I'm going to leave them quite pale. And then once you've run out of ink on your glass mat, you just add another dab and keep going. If you think you do a lot of watercolouring, you can leave these to dry. So if you've got a tile, you can leave them to dry, and as soon as water's added to it, it reactivates your ink, so you're not actually wasting your ink by wiping it away. And I do recommend in the instructions that you do all your colouring at once, because then you're not having to keep on coming back when you're making your projects. So I would stamp out a whole sheet of these, the jars, and my sentiments as well. So I'd get them all stamped out at the same time, and then I would do all my colouring at the same time. And sometimes that inspires you as well, so you could change the colours of your flowers. So you have the yellow ones as the more dominant ones. Okay, so I'm just going to wash that off and then go in with the yellow, and again just add that depth. So it's a case of you just keep on going until you're happy. I feel like we need to get a drum roll for our reveals sometimes, or a big banner. You can see the difference in the shades there, darker to the paler. Okay, so I might just come in on the edges like so. Of course, you don't have to. If you're really good at watercolouring, you can just do a proper wash over. Such a lovely technique, and you know, it's as long as short as you want it to be. Okay, I'm just going to finish that there, and I'm just going to add some of the green to the leaves. So I'll pick my green up, and then go in on there. Oh, I'll tell you what I haven't done is the jar, the water. So that's the leaf that I forgot to do, so I'll just give that a quick wash over. Oh, 2 leaves. How can I forget my leaves? And I'll just put, okay, so that, you know, that was actually quite quick. I know I'd already done my original wash, but that took me seconds, if not minutes, if not seconds to do. So for the jar, I've got quite a wet brush. I'm just going to roll it in my blue, and then I'm holding my brush more sort of like a flatter angle. That's too much blue on it. Now, if you do think you've added too much, take your kitchen towel, tap it over and put it off. I completely removed it all. There we go. I'm just going to grab a little bit more, but I'm going to come straight off of the pad on this one. So I just want to add a bit more depth at the top and then just at the base. Okay, so there we go. So that's kind of a very quick way of doing colouring. We always wonder how we're going to colour our stamps, and using the distress inks that you're getting in the kit, it's just a perfect way. And then, I mean, there's so many different colours of distress inks. You will start building up your collection. I think this is the second kit I've done that's actually had distress inks in, so I'm trying not to repeat the colours so that I know that you can build up your collection. Okay. Right, I'm going to show, and then what you can do. So this is where, that's what I was saying, I could leave that dry on there, but I'm obviously going to be using my mat. So it seems an absolute waste now to wipe this all off. But if you were stamping all your images all at once, you could then use all your ink. I'm just going to wipe that off. And then you go. I mean, you could spritz that. Got the rattly table again. There we go. So one thing I'd like to show you, especially if you're new to crafting, is the stamp. Now, it's a really large stamp, and I've got to be honest, if you were to buy an acrylic block for this, you're looking at probably £6–7 for this stamp to fit. If not, you're looking at £20-odd for a stamping platform. Highly recommend a stamping platform, because they would just become your best friend, and it means that any stamp will fit, so you're not going to build up a collection of acrylic blocks. And what I mean by acrylic blocks are these. So it's just a massive piece of acrylic, really hard, and the stamp is designed to sit on that once you've peeled it off. So that one fits on there. And then in the stamp set you're getting 3 sentiments. So I've put all mine onto acrylic blocks. So already I've got 4 acrylic blocks there for that one set. Yes, these could all fit on there individually, but they can also fit into the stamping platform, and this kind of fits everything. But you know, if you're on a budget, I want to just show you that you don't have to have all these gadgets. It makes life easier. I'm just going to put my magnets back in, actually, because otherwise, into my stamping platform, otherwise I'm going to lose them. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, this is going to work. I tested it, but you know, that was being tested at home, not being tested live on Facebook. So when you get acrylic stamps, they come on a piece of plastic, and the idea is that you peel it off and then you pop it onto your acrylic block. Okay, and that then forms the stamp. So you've got this to hold on to, and then you do all your stamping, wipe the excess ink off, peel that off, and pop it back into your packaging, stored ready for the next time you need to use it. If you haven't got acrylic blocks, but you're thinking of buying this set, it can be done. You can either grab a tile, so a kitchen tile would be perfect, you know, a small one. These will stick to it. They're really clingy. They'll stick to anything that's non-porous. Glass jars, so if you've got any problems with your wrists and strength in pressing down, you can pop these onto a glass jar, and then you're going to get that rolling technique, that rolling movement, which is a lot easier to do for some people. But you can keep it on the piece of plastic. So let's give it a go. Now you get a slightly smaller one of these ink pads in your kit, but it will do exactly the same job. So just tap over your stamp. And then I might have to stand up for this. Pick it up, so I'm not touching the stamp, and I'm just going to lay it down, and I'm going to start one end, press it down. So I'm trying not to jolt it or knock it or move it. That will give me a double image. Lots of pressing. I mean, you could even possibly pick up your ink pads and just run it over. Now the ink pad I'm using to actually stamp on here is quite a juicy ink pad, so fingers crossed. Da, da, da. Oh, look at that. Oh, phew. So there you go. You don't have to have all the acrylic blocks, the stamping platform. I recommend them, but don't let it stop you from, you know, investing in something like one of the craft kits. I'll always find a way for you to, there'll always be an alternative way to be able to create these cards. Okay, right, so to make the little one I've done, which I think is very cute, I love it, you can probably see how it's formed. I've cut out, I've done my stamp and I've coloured it in and I've cut around it, but at the same time what I did is I had a piece of card behind. So I would have laid that onto my piece of card and I would have cut around them at the same time. If you've got a thick card, and if you're doing it from the card in your craft box, it's actually a 300 GSM card thickness, so it's quite thick. So you may struggle to cut through both pieces at the same time. So if not, the other way is to draw around it. To be fair, it's not quite as neat. If I show you, that was the one that I drew around, and it's not that neat. So I did try to cut them both at the same time, and I was quite happy with the outcome. So it will sit on like so, and then I just reduced it ever so slightly around there because my card slipped. And then I took my scoreboard, and again, you don't need a scoreboard, you can use a ruler. And I just measured, well, I didn't measure actually, I just took a point on the top of on the flower, and I scored this on my scoreboard. But again, if you don't have a scoreboard, just fold it over your ruler like so, remove your ruler, press that down, and if you have got a bone folder, which they're called, or a paper creaser, oh, I've picked ink up now, look, then it just gives you that flap. Okay, so we take it back to there. Yeah, that still fits. To add the string that I've got, and I do explain this in the instructions, I want it to come up to here. So what I did was I just cut around my flowers to that point of the top of the jar, and then just in there like so. Okay, so I've got that slit there, and then I can add my string. Again, this is all included in the kit, and I'm just going to wrap it round 2 or 3 times. Now you could, if you wanted to, add a tag, so you could stamp up one of your sentiment stamps and add that. I'm just going to tie a knot on this one again. Okay, and it just sits under there. It makes it almost 3D. It's quite a nice effect. I'm just going to cut that off. I'll cut my fingers off. And then we're going to add some glue up here. So add it onto the one with the tab, not the one that you've just coloured, because obviously you don't know how far down. Oh, I hope I got it around the right way. Oh, didn't check that, did I? And then just hold that down, making sure it's lined up at the bottom. Just hold that down. It's nice and it did. Now, stand it up, and I forgot to say, bend this both ways, because then that allows that to stand up nicely. Now, is it going to, oh, I must have trimmed it. If it wobbles, because one side is actually got more card on, more pattern on it, if it wobbles, what you need to do is on the back panel is just cut the base straight. I don't know if you can see that. I've just cut across the base, and that allows it to sit flat on your work surface. And then one last thing before we disappear, glossy accents. Now it just needed something. You can add gems to it, you can use a sparkle pen if you want to. Oh, actually I might do a sparkle pen. Glossy accents will obviously give you a lovely 3D effect. I'll do both of them. I'll do both of them.
I've left tidy Friday. Where's your biscuits? You'll end up eating them, madam.
Thank you.
See you next week. Have a good weekend.
Bye. Okay, so we're just going round and accenting certain bits. So I'm just highlighting certain bits on the card. And obviously the beauty of the glossy accents is that it's got a really fine nozzle. So you can just decide. And this gives you that lovely 3D effect, and it looks like rain's dropped on it. Water's on it. It's just been held suspended. I dropped off a parcel to one of our ladies this morning, and she showed me the Easter cards that she'd made. And you know who you are, Anne. Ooh, wrong one. And she added bling. She's notorious for adding bling to her cards, and she added some gems to her Easter cards, the pop-up one that we did in the last subbox, and it really lifted the embellishments. It looked gorgeous. So the other thing you can do with this, which I'm missing a trick, is just go along the surface of your water maybe. Obviously now I've got to be careful of the string going in, but I will run that across there. And then once that dries, it becomes clear. It's quite opaque at the moment, but it will become clear. Okay. But the other thing you can do is add a sparkle pen. If you've got sparkle pens, I'm just going to do it on this one very quickly. The other thing as well with sparkle pens is that you can watercolour with them. These are really running out. When they run out, I take it off and I add water to them. I don't know if you're going to see it. I might have to. I have a selection. Hold on. I keep going until I find one that's got water in. So give them a shot. You can hear. You can hear that's all the mica in the base of the pen. Yeah, that one don't want to work either. Okay. I'll just. Oh, that one's got no lid, so that's probably all dried up. Last chance, because this is the last one I've got. Oh, here we go. Can you see? I don't know if the camera's picking it up. Are you getting that? What if I put a flashlight on it? There we go. It's just picking up. Well, it might not be, but it's got the glitter in there.
Get any?
Now, can you see as well? I've picked up the paint, the ink, and it's blending now into the blue. I wonder, so you could carry on. I wonder what that are. I'm just going to go for it. Can you see the sparkle? No?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Believe us, just believe us. Trust us that there's a little bit of sparkle on here. Not too much, just enough. Obviously, Anne would have to do a bit more. There we go.
Oh, you can see it now.
You can see it now.
Yeah.
Perfect. Very subtle, but actually just lifts it. So there you go. Two other ways that you can decorate it. So you could either add gems, you could do your glossy accents, sparkle pen. Yeah, but this kit, honestly, what you're getting in there is just going to go on and on and on. The stamp you've got for life. Oh, did I mention the embossing folder? I did, didn't I? So the embossing folder, which is at the back of this one and at the back of that one as well. Again, that can be used for any occasion. So it's not just for this particular card kit. Kits are available online, so please pop by and grab. And thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.